lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Folks are dumb where I come from. They ain't had any learning. Still they're happy as can be, doing what comes naturally. Folks like us could never fuss with schools and books and learning. Still we've gone from A to Z, doing what comes naturally. You don't have to know how to read or write when you're out with a feller in the pale moonlight. You don't have to come from a great big town not to go picking berries in an evening gown. That comes naturally. My uncle don't pay taxes, his address never gives. They can't collect his taxes 'cause they don't know where he lives. Uncle Ben got angry when they caught him stealing chickens. I'm within my rights, says he, doing what comes naturally.
Well, hi everyone, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, and I'm back with another kitchen counter thrift haul. So just look at all that stuff. Now, there is no cup of coffee today because I don't care if I see any liquid for the next week. This is Saturday, July the 11th, and yesterday, Friday, July the 10th, we had so much rain, it was unbelievable. A tropical, well, I guess it's hurricane somebody or other. See, we get those here on the East Coast, and this one really gave us a lot of local flooding and flooding along the shore, the Jersey coast here. Some local flooding in this area as well, where I am right across the river in Philadelphia. But hopefully that thing is gone. Look out, Canada. It might be up there with you. I haven't had the news on, so my neighbors to the north, Connecticut, Rhode Island, I hope you guys made out okay. Well, let's see what's what. It is all for sale, currently for sale. That means right now it's in the Old Curiosity Shop. It'll be there for 7 days. Everything that you see here was listed, I believe, early this morning, and will run for about 7 days. So if you see anything you can't live without, I'd love it if you check out the link in the description box right underneath of this video. Most of the stuff here is mid-century. For me personally, as you know, I am a big fan of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. Once we start getting into the 50s and 60s, I am grasping at straws most of the time. So if I erroneously identify anything, you can help me out. I learn from you. We will start off with this Hall H-A-L-L teapot in beautiful cobalt blue in excellent condition with no chips or cracks and no crazing of the glaze. And what a beautiful cobalt blue color we have on this pot. I'll turn it upside down and let you see the Hall mark, H-A-L-L, and there's also a black ink stamp under there, which is somewhat difficult to see. That mark was used by Hall for about 40 years, from 1930 to 1970. So I would say this coffee teapot dates to between 1930 and 1970. It's in really good condition. Now, if you're feeling patriotic, you could have the coffee pot, the teapot, and the restaurant ware back there. 4 cups and saucers in a wonderful sort of patriotic pattern. Stars and stripes. And what's really fun about these is stamped down on the inside of each one we see free refills. I love that. Can you see it? Free refills. And this is all made by Shenango. Well, let's see. I'm trying to get a good back stamp for you. Sometimes they come up well. No, it's Sterling China of Westville. I believe that's Ohio. I'm having a little difficulty seeing that. Now, I don't know much about restaurant ware. I'm not very good at dating it. So I don't know the age of these. This may be relatively contemporary, but it's good restaurant ware, hard faring, hard wearing. There's no dishwasher damage on these, and they're in excellent condition. So, hey, if you're rough on your dishes, buy these and bang them up. They won't show their age. Let's move on to this beautiful thing back here, just sparkling in the back. Isn't this gorgeous? 24 or 22 karat gold encrusted, and just look how it glows. And we'll put it up here under the light. Look at that. Am I focusing? It is glass. It is paper thin glass, and it's made by, hold on and I'll tell you. Okay, from what I can tell, this is made by a company called Glastonbury here in the United States. And it's a beautiful tall, I think, I don't remember, I think I measured that as about an 11-inch vase. Again, as I said, the glass doesn't get much thinner than that. You can actually see my fingers through it. So it's clear crystal glass with these wonderful daisies and flowers all over it, and beautiful. I never know whether it's 22 or 24 karat gold, but there it is. I think the company started out as Lotus, and then it changed names, but probably made in the 50s. This is probably a 50s and 60s piece as well. It's not always easy to tell, but it's a piece of pottery. It's Italian. It's got a lid, and that lid has a tiny chip. You can see it right there, mostly on the underside. Now, of course, when the lid is in place, down in there like it should be, you don't see it. So, but that chip is there. This one seems to be a decal rather than hand painted, and we'll let you see the bottom. It says Italy. Just something about it just has sort of the 1960s feel to me, but then again, I don't know. I thought it was attractive, and hopefully someone will also find it attractive. It is some type of pottery made by the Westmoreland. I know some of you are laughing because I'm always poo-pooing milk glass, and I shouldn't do that. It's just that it's not a favorite of mine, but I know a lot of you love it, and so when I find unusual pieces, well, I shouldn't say unusual, but pieces that I don't find frequently, I like to purchase them for sale. You find dishes like this all the time. You certainly do find them with their lids. It's always great when you can find a matching lid. Grape and cable or grape and leaves, they loved putting grapes on milk glass. I don't know what happened to the other fruits, why we don't have bananas all over milk glass, but it seems like the grape won out. There's the WG for Westmoreland Glass. I cannot remember when they started embossing it, but I believe it was sometime in the 50s or 60s, and that's probably what this dates to. There's also a Westmoreland Glass on the bottom. So, again, in good condition, with no damage on that candy dish. This might be Indiana glass, I'm not sure. There's no mark on it. It is the ubiquitous white milk glass hen-on nest. In excellent shape. And that kitty has really got his or her eyes on this chicken, so chicken, you better watch out. Beautiful colors on this orange tabby. Those are not glass eyes, they're painted. And just look at the really pretty matte glaze on this. Very well done. I think the HK stands for Harry Knox. You see the HK? I looked at a lot of the Harry Knox pieces online, and this is very similar, and I guess that's who made it. But a lot of those pieces that I saw have a textured, they're embossed, and there's a texture. This is just a completely smooth cat. So, I don't know. Still probably a Japan piece, but I think it's beautifully done. There aren't any chips. Anything that you see that's shining is really just reflections of the light. That's not a chip on the top of the cat's ear. The pretty orange tabby right there, who's going to back off from that chicken. Alright. And this tiny little creamer right here, as cute as it can be, made by Shenango China of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. We see there, this is an individual creamer. Very cute and small. Here's the bottom to a 1960s, 70s Carnival glass butter dish, just as a replacement for somebody. Indiana glass, I think. You recognize Pyrex. What is this? The gold butterfly pattern, I think. I bought it because it's a sugar bowl, and you often find them without lids. It's good to find a lid, and I think this just says Corning on the bottom of it. There we go. There's an Anchor Hocking, I think that's Star Glow something, casserole dish with a lid in very nice condition, and I think this is completely unmarked. Nothing on the bottom. Sometimes things got out of the Anchor Hocking factory without being marked. I've often seen Fire King with nothing on the bottom of it. So, it's not always marked. Nice mid-century pattern there. For one of your 1960s casseroles. Nice and clean. That's a modern piece back there. I believe this stuff was sold in Target, probably still is. You guys know the TV show. I don't watch it because I don't watch TV, but I'm familiar with, I believe their last name is Gaines. And anyway, Home and Hearth, or Hearth and Hand, or something or other, you know. And they reproduced, well, I shouldn't say reproduced, they produced a line of, some people call it green milk glass or jadeite. So this is very modern and made within the last few years. A very heavy bowl in excellent condition, and I bought that just because, well, a lot of people like jadeite, and I don't know if this is still in Target or not. I think that came with small footed bowls that match this as like a berry set or something. This is also Westmoreland Glass over here, and beautiful. Might have come with a mate. Things like this were usually sold in pairs. Great to find it with a lid. Okay, let's make sure we're talking about Westmoreland. All the M&Ms are going to fall out. Yep, WG Westmoreland. Hand painted with, that might look black, but those grapes are blue and gold grape leaves. Okay, I guess it's just a decorative piece. A little bit of loss to the gold in a few places. Oops. I don't know that I would use it as a vase. I'd probably just use it as a decoration. So there it is. And it's also in excellent condition. I hadn't ever seen it before. So I hope someone who's attracted to milk glass will fall in love with it. There's the Friendship Bowl by Pyrex with these orange... I always think of the Partridge Family when I see this. And it does say Pyrex on the bottom, as you know. This is the 403 2.5 quart bowl. Fantastic condition, or I wouldn't have bought it. Fire King, is that called Spring Meadow or Fresh Meadow or Audrey Meadow? I don't know, it's something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, there it is, Fire King. I can remember. It's in the auction listing. Isn't that awful? I should be more organized. Something Meadow. And there are four, oh gosh, there are 3 nesting bowls there. Don't fall. With the little spouts like the Cinderella bowls made by Pyrex. Okay, so you get 3 of those nesting bowls. And then I think we have a teapot and a creamer. This is a big creamer here. I really should have done more research on this, but it's obviously heavy restaurant ware, and it's made by Shenango, China, again of Newcastle, PA. And you say, oh, 1940, that must be the year. Normally, that would not be the year, and it's usually just a production mark of some sort, and it's just a coincidence that it could be a year. But since this stuff was made for the United States Medical Department, the United States Army Medical Department, that could be the year. I don't know. I really, honestly, if you guys want to do some research and tell me, I would love to know. Was this made in 1940? Why the United States Army Medical Department needed its own creamers, and they must have used a lot of cream. I don't know the story behind this. As I said, I really need to educate myself on it. So I'm counting on someone out there who's an expert in this. I think, Barb, if you're watching, you'll be able to tell me. I'd like to know. So I've got a lot of restaurant ware here. That's in good shape, and boy, you'd never run out of cream with that. And then finally over here is another teapot. And this one is also made by Hall, H-A-L-L. And I always spell it out because there's a company called Hull, H-U-L-L, that made pottery. But this pot is made by the same company that made this pot. And this one over here has its infuser, which they're usually missing. It's the Aladdin shape. This usually is found in autumn leaf, I think is the one you find the most. I'm not sure the name of the pattern on this, but this would date to the late 40s, mid-40s, late 40s. There's the infuser for making the tea. Putting your tea leaves in, we will spin you upside down. And Hall's superior quality kitchenware, we can see. Yes. And it's super clean. It's ready to be used. Now, the pot is in excellent condition. The lid is in excellent condition, and you usually find them like that with no infuser. We have a slight problem here, but this is still perfectly usable. I actually made tea with this, and it did quite well. But somebody got excited in the kitchen sink, and they banged it around, and, well, I say somebody, I don't mean me. We have a nice chip in there, a nice crack. Look at that. Boy, it doesn't look awful. Now it looks like that piece is ready to separate and pop off of there any second. But I have dinged on it and pulled on it and tugged on it. It's a really tight, it doesn't even thump when you crack it or when you ping it with your thumb. So it's in place. It's damaged, but it's not getting ready to fall off. It's still pretty sound, and you can still use this. If that really bugs you, hey, buy the teapot and it'll give you something to do. Spend every Saturday morning for the next 10 years at flea markets looking for the replacement. Or you could just find one online. I wish it weren't cracked like that, but it's still great to find the infuser with the pot. Okay, so there it is. It's really pretty. Don't you think? Back up and let you see it all. Not a real organized rhyme or reason to today's thrift haul. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. I thank you for watching. Let me know, you experts out there, on this United States Army creamer. I'd love to know more about it. Okay, that's it, folks. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching and so long for now.